Good afternoon and welcome to the Positive Psychology Hour, a partnership with Whole Being Institute and the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan. My name is Caroline Colas and I'm the Senior Director of Health and Wellness at the JCC. Today, we're going to be talking about Stop Pushing the River, the practice of trusting the flow of life for self, community, and the planet with Edie Pasalis. I hope I said your name right. You can correct me if I'm wrong. We each bring unique gifts to the challenges of our world. And how do we understand when and how to use them? How do we bring about the future we'd like to see? The contemplative traditions tell us that to serve our highest potential future is to act from what is fully present right now, to see, feel, and sense what is here and respond to what is arising, to actually follow the flow of life. This is particularly true in times of disruption and crisis. In this experiential session, we'll embody calm, cultivate clarity, and deep connection to ourselves and to each other with the practices rooted in Kripalu Yoga and social presencing theater to discover greater curiosity, compassion, and courage to collectively welcome our shared future. And I love that we have so many C's: calm, cultivate, clarity, connection, curiosity, compassion, courage, and collectively coming together. A little bit about Edie. She unites the savvy of a strategic social impact leader and the skill of an expert facilitator and the lifelong study of mindfulness and awareness-based change to help individuals and organizations create greater personal, societal, and environmental well-being. Edie spent a decade on the leadership team at the Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health, where she helped birth the program RISE, Kripalu's evidence-based initiative to create more people-centered, emotionally intelligent workplaces. Edie and Kripalu team received the 2019 Staff Resilience Award from the Worksite Wellness Council of MA, the 2017 Massachusetts Commissioner's Community Partner Award for Service to Leadership and Frontline Professionals of the Department of Youth Services, and she created the first yoga-based program approved by the Collaborative of Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. Outcomes of this work include a greater than 30% decrease in perceived stress for healthcare providers, educators, and community safety personnel. And it has been published in the Journal of Workplace Behavioral Health and the Journal of Occupational and Environmental Medicine. She holds degrees from Harvard Divinity School and the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business, certificates in Kripalu Yoga and in positive psychology, and is a student of the Presencing Institute for Awareness-Based Transformation Systems. Welcome to the call, Edie. I'm going to add you and have you unmute, which I think you've done already.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Caroline, when we first talked, you talked about having a brief moment of centering or have a little conversation here. Are you going to guide that? And then, or how do you want to hold this moment?
Well, I would love for you to, they hear from me all the time. If you don't mind bringing us into the present moment.
Sure, sure. All right. So let's have a moment to arrive in the present.
I don't know if you guys want to wait a couple of minutes because there was a problem. There was no password given with the email, and you might have latecomers.
Oh.
So thank you so much, Lois. I think we'll get started with the mindfulness pause, and then I'm going to have a little conversation with Edie just about Kripalu and how she knows Whole Being Institute, and then we'll get into the content, and hopefully that'll give folks a bit of time. But thank you for letting me know about that. So appreciate that.
Great. All right, so our mindful pause. Let's arrive. So you can turn your focus inward and kind of take your eyes away from the screen, maybe close them all together, and feel your body in whatever position it's in. And take this first moment in mindfulness to get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe kind of put your feet more firmly on the ground or rearrange in your chair. Just find a way to let the body be at ease. And then let's take a nice big breath in together through the nose and out through the mouth. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. And this time, with the breath in, squeeze your shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhaling, drop the shoulders. And do that one more time. Inhaling, shoulders squeeze up. And exhaling, release. Feeling the body sitting now in stillness. Noticing the breath moving in the body. Feeling the breath coming in and out. And then imagining each other in a giant circle, breathing from wherever we are on this planet, sitting together for this quiet moment of arrival, breathing together. Taking one more breath. And then slowly, keeping your sense of calm and your sense of presence in your own space, let your eyes come back to the screen and reconnect.
So nice. Thank you. Wow. Let me just join you. And I wanted to I know some folks are having trouble with getting on. So we're going to just have a quick conversation and also give folks a little context about you and Harvard Divinity School. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, I had a corporate life in my early career, and the whole time I was like, I don't really know if this is the right thing. And, I was always kind of wondering what my real life would be. And then I found the practice of yoga. And after 3 years of really exuberant practice of yoga in all ways, yoga in the big sense, including meditation and lifestyle practices, I was like, this is really what I want to focus on for my life. And so I went to Harvard Divinity School actually to study yoga. I studied Sanskrit and ancient Indian civilization and the sacred texts and spirituality and healing and then was a yoga teacher in the Boston area for a long time. Kripalu yoga teacher, did my Kripalu yoga teacher training at that same era of my life. That's actually the era when I first met Megan. Then after some period of time, I ended up at Kripalu. So I'll let you ask another question because I think you'll guide this.
You said so. You've known Megan for like 20 years. And when did you take the SIP program?
Well, so I first met Megan when I was launching my business in Boston as a yoga teacher. I had because I'd been to divinity school, I think, and a lot of people wanted weddings that were spiritual but not religious. So in addition to teaching yoga, I also then became a wedding celebrant and worked with people. I called it pre-nuptial yoga to help people with the stress of that whole wedding process. And I launched a business called I Do Yoga. And anyway, as I was doing that, I submitted an application to an award that Megan was working with Kripalu on, which was the Yoga Entrepreneur Award. And so I met her in the process I actually won that award. I was one of the winners of that award. So that was in, 2005, maybe 2003. And then I did SIP when I actually came on staff at Kripalu and we were hosting SIP at Kripalu. So that was more like 2012.
Wow. And speaking of SIT, Ellen and I were talking on what I call the pregame show with Edie, and they are accepting new applicants to the SIP program. And I'll put a link in the chat so you can do that if you guys are interested. I know Ellen was sharing with me it's on her bucket list to do, and I graduated during the pandemic from that program, and I cannot say more about it. It's just fantastic, and I highly recommend it. So if you're considering that, and then those of you that register in the fall, I think you actually have the in-person cohort, like for part of it, it's online for part and in person, which is kind of nice. So let's get started. What did you want to talk about today? The pushing the river, all those C's that I was pointing out.
Yeah, so thank you. And I just want to confirm that we are on this call until 1 o'clock, right? That's our time? Great, great. So when I thought about what I would offer, I really wanted to reflect this moment. And for me, this moment is a real moment of transition. We've been in lockdown, so I think it is for all of us. We've been in this kind of alternate reality where there were a lot of rules about what we could do and what we can't do, masks and social distancing. And all of a sudden there are no rules, but we don't yet really know how we're going to be in this new era. And so there's this moment of transition and transformation, or moment of potential. And I think for many of us, we have habits about how we navigate moments of potential. Either we go back to what we were doing before and just put those habits right back in place, maybe the same amount of busyness or just doing like exactly the same things, or we work from shoulds, like, oh, now I should be doing something, like I should be of service, or I should be taking care of my family, or I should be doing this kind of work, or I should be doing that. And I think of both of those as pushing the river. Right? It's not really being with maybe what our heart's desire is or what the moment might be calling for. In Ayurveda, which is the sort of the yoga version of Chinese medicine, they say everything can be medicine or poison, right? So depending on the moment, what we choose to do can be, even if it seems like a good thing, it can actually be a hurtful thing if it's the wrong moment. So what I thought I would offer is the practice that I have been using, and I have kind of been practicing through all this time working at Kripalu, and now in my kind of inquiry into the Presencing Institute, to get underneath the habit and get underneath the should. So we land in the embodied awareness. We land in what's underneath what we think should happen, and is what maybe a little closer to what we really want to be happening, even if we don't know it right away. So I'm hoping that we'll play together a little bit in an embodied awareness fashion. So kind of like yoga, kind of like free-form yoga. I'm wearing street clothes, so it doesn't have to be any fancy, you don't need any clothes. You could even be seated if you can stay seated. This will be a very accessible practice. And then I hope we can have some nice discussion about it, because it's a really rich moment. That's what I'm imagining for our time. How does that sound?
Sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. Let's just, I think the gallery view, and we can see if people agree. I was just thinking about the nursery rhyme, row, row, row your boat.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And how they say gently down the stream. It's not row, row, row your boat with effort and shoulds against the stream,
Right. Well, I have to say, Caroline, that's really fun that you brought that up, because one of the first things, one of the first steps in kind of moving gently is to shift ourselves from kind of that fight or flight mode into what they now call social engagement mode, a more open, a place where curiosity and courage and compassion can live, that they live in us. And one of the best ways to do that is to sing. And so I was wondering, we can all be on mute. No one has to hear anything, right? but we could actually sing together a couple of rounds of Row, Row, Row Your Boat as a way of bringing the sense of safety into our bodies. So
I love it.
are you
I love it.
game?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm game. Let's put
Okay.
ourselves on gallery view,
Yeah.
and we can do it in a round. So you can
We could do it.
choose,
Okay.
like you can start or I can start and you can go.
Okay, so I've never tried this with two people, so we'll see how it goes. And if it's
you're right, because it might sound weird.
Yeah, sometimes. So I could just sing and then
You
everybody
sing.
sing along. And if you want to sing it as a round where you are, you can do it. And we'll just have like, I don't know, just a couple rounds of Row Row Your Boat.
I like that idea. I'm putting you on spotlight, or do you want to see gallery?
Either way, gallery is good. Then I can see.
Okay, hang on one second. Give me 1 minute so you can see. I'll put you on gallery.
So you know what? We'll just start right from here because it's here. Okay, so I'm going to start, and you can all join with me. All right. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. One more time. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Excellent. I think we had some folks doing the round. That was awesome.
That was fun. All right. Show me if you did it and you had a good time. Yeah. You know what Excellent. I love, of course, this is like singing, dancing, shifting our mood, right? Yeah. It's like a great mood enhancer. It's shifting our state.
Yes,
right?
It's absolutely shifting our state. We know from polyvagal theory that this lengthening of the exhale that happens when we sing moves us from this autonomic state of fight or flight, where we can only see what's good for us, or, like really tightly focused, and actually can expand and open and connect with each other and the creativity that's within us and within this field. So thank you for doing that. Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't exactly the plan, but there that was. So what I would love is to ground the exploration that we're going to do in our bodies in a little bit of reality of this moment. And I shared a little bit about my own transition, this moment of going from rules to no rules, which also for me is going from kind of an incubation period. I have been on a COVID sabbatical work-wise, and I'm now trying to find my way back to work. So for me, the transition is really, really big in terms of my work life. But if for many people, it could be in your family or your community, or any other aspect. So I'm curious. You can either unmute and kind of speak into the space, or you can also just type into the chat. Like what when you think about this moment of transition, if this is a moment of transition and potential, what arena is it? What are the issues? Like, let's just get a little bit of context around for this moment of transition.
Well, I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but I feel an increased sense of anxiety about it.
Yes. And is that Lois? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. Yes, great. Thank you. So increased anxiety. Yeah. Oh, and someone's in the process of retiring. Yes. What else is this moment?
For me, it's like remembering that there are, like I just had a situation yesterday where I realized I didn't know something, but I didn't know that I didn't know it until I didn't know it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that was, so it was someone that had done a report previously, and I didn't realize that they have left the organization. So I didn't realize that I had to, that that's what they did, right? And I had to kind of make that up. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of the not knowing what you don't know until you realize you don't know it.
Right. Thank you. And I see lots here in the chat trying to find harmony during and between work. Finding, that I need to relearn some basic things, moving back into the work world and the pleasures. Yeah, the pleasures of mask off, exchanging smiles. I'm feeling shy, but a little bit ready, wanting to recapture early pandemic peace of everything slowing down. So in some ways, the opposite, like not wanting to go too fast. Yeah. And kind of this challenge that there still maybe needs to be caution as we be with loved ones. And some of us are introverts and feel kind of pressure to go back into the world with people again. This is a really rich moment.
Can I speak?
Yes, please.
This is Deirdre. I'm unable to get on the regular Zoom. I have to do this a phone-in thing. I don't know what's wrong. But I wanted to say that in this moment, I'm filled with excitement and joy, and I'm so happy to jump in to events and yes, here's my vaccination card and just to go for life, because I'm just really, really happy to be in flow with the art and culture and people who enjoy it again.
Yeah, it's a really rich moment. It's both joyful and for some people frightening. So let's just take a moment and feel the fullness. There's a lot of potential in all that's here. There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of discernment required for each of us to navigate our way forward, and then for us to think collectively about how we're going to navigate our way forward. So what I'd like to offer is an experience, a practice where we kind of get underneath the thoughts and into the body and come to know what's right for us in this moment. And it's something that you can use as you go about your day, or kind of in preparation for your day, in preparation for a meeting, and will help to get out of the habit and the should and land in kind of what's really called for in the moment. And I'm going to offer it. I think I might stand up because it's going to help me have energy for the group and be with the group, but it's something that you can do from seated, and there's really no requirements to do anything other than what feels good in your body, right? So I'm going to offer some movements and some practices, and you can follow along. And if something doesn't feel good, you follow your body. Okay? Does that get a thumbs up for that? Yes. Okay. All right. So actually, let me give you another brief intro. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a lot.
I just put it in so that I'd promised to do that. So I just
Okay.
put in the information about Wellbeing Institute before I forgot, everyone. It's in there.
Okay. So what I'll give you a little bit more intro to what I'm going to offer. I think of it as a 3C centering. And the first C is calm, embodying calm, right? And we already did a practice, that's singing, which is going to help us embody calm. And that's going to help us open to all of the resources that are within and around us, right? And we have a lot of capacity already to embody calm. I'm sure that you have many tools and techniques. I'm going to offer a couple, and then we can talk about them after. And then also the second is to cultivate clarity, which means where is your attention, right? We're going to bring the attention right here to the present moment. Because when we're multitasking or someone's distracting us, or we're thinking about what happened before, or we're all worried and we're not really even thinking clearly, then it's really hard to move forward with to know what we want, right? Because we're not really, our attention is not present. And so that's the second step, cultivating clarity. And then the third step is to deepen connection to what's true for us. And I know this is a really important part of positive psychology, like understanding your values and what makes meaning for you and what your gifts are. And so we're going to take a moment to deepen connection into that. And then we'll have a chance to like talk about it and explore afterward. But we're going to start first in the body, and then actually, as I'm looking at we're gonna do this in one big fell swoop. So if you want, you can stand up, or you can stay seated. Either way. All right. So step number one, we're going to embody calm. All right. So we embody calm by being in the body. So the first thing is to know that we have a body, and we're going to just tap on our body to just remind us that the body's here. So you can tap the left arm and then tap the right arm. Back again. And then around on the shoulders and on the chest. Oh my gosh, just getting on the chest just made me sigh a little bit. Maybe it made you sigh too, because that breath is the next thing that we're going to do. And now like on your belly, you can tap really gently so doesn't hurt. And then tap down the legs. And then the back a little bit. And then all the way up and nice and soft now on the head. A little tapping on the head, just fingertips around the back of the head. Maybe on the jaw and the cheeks. And then on the forehead. And then anywhere else that would feel really good, just your own custom tapping. And then release the tapping and turn your focus inward. You can close your eyes or just soften your gaze and feel the body now. We've been reminded now we have a body. And you can stay standing if you like, or you can sit down. I decided to sit down because it'll be a better view for you. And so we're going to continue to embody calm by connecting breath and the body together. We're going to do a little movement with the breath. And this is also going to start bringing our attention into more focus. Yep. And Robin knows what we're going to do. We're going to do some sun breaths. Exactly. Okay. So inhale and take the arms up as much as feels good. Even if it's like this, that's okay. And exhale the arms down. And move at your own pace with your own breath, inhaling the arms up. And exhaling the arms down. And take 3 more like this and move at the slowest comfortable pace that's good for you, right? So we want to deepen the breath. And one more. Okay. Now close your eyes and feel. Just notice the echo of these practices. Maybe you feel more aliveness in the body. Maybe there's a greater sense of calm. So actually, before we move on, I would love if people would post. Can you take a moment and post or just speak into the space? So how do you feel after that first bit of our experience? I see a heart. Yeah, do people feel more calm? Do you feel more kind of alive? I see some head nods. Great. Oh, I see some, let's see, we got new messages. Yeah, more calm, so simply, it's so grounding, more grounded. Yeah. I see. Smiley face, more relaxed, calm and focused, more ease. Nice. So that's step one. We're going to embody calm, right? So now we're going to move into step two, which is really to play with our attention, to take our attention really specifically inside to the sensation that's happening. Someone's breath is more shallow than usual. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. All right. So what we're going to do to harness our attention is we're going to move into a posture and hold it for a few breaths. So you're going to find one position that you think you can hold for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 breaths. I'm gonna put my arms up overhead like this as I'm sitting, but I know that's not comfortable for everyone. You can also have your arms out like this, or just in front like this. If you want to bend your knees and make it really rigorous, you can do that too. But no need. We're just giving ourselves some place to really focus. So find your posture, put your body into this posture, and close your eyes or turn your focus inward. And watch the sensation and kind of find that point where the biggest sensation is. For me, I thought it was going to be in the shoulders, but it's actually in my hands. So find for you where the biggest sensation is. I'm just going to watch, let the attention be right there. And one of the things about this practice of letting the body be still is that we learn to see how busy the mind can be. So maybe the mind is saying, I don't know where the biggest sensation is, or I don't want to do this, or I'm not sure what posture I should be in. And let your mind see through that and feel the sensation that's present. One more breath. And then slowly release the arms or come back to a more natural, neutral posture. So I'm curious what you noticed about your attention. Was it hard to bring it into the body? Is your mind busy? What did you notice? Maybe post again in the chat or speak into the space. That one's harder. Okay, since the sensation was strong, it was easier to keep your attention there than you thought. Crazy busy mind, yeah. could actually feel areas of tension. Nice. Nice. And so this practice of, oh yeah, heat increasing. Being still helped you keep your mind on the pose, that sensation, yeah. Focus on the strength of the pose and relief when I relaxed it. Nice, feeling present. Yeah, so when we come into stillness and bring our attention into the body, there's so much information. It can be just that we become aware that our mind is busy, or we become aware that there's efforting happening. Okay. Oh, I love it. Someone's just watching while eating lunch. That's excellent. It's all welcome. Okay. So now we're going to do this practice again, and we're going to bring the third C, the deepening connection. Right. So the first one we did was embodying calm, and this past one was cultivating clarity, and now we're going to deepen connection. And so we're going to come back into the posture and hold it again. And notice the moment in your body where it feels like it's time to shift, right? So sometimes when we're holding a posture, we do it because it's the rule. Like I told you to hold the posture, right? And following that rule is the habit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come into the posture. We're going to take some time, be in that posture, and then each of us at our own time is going to shift and move based on what's meaningful. So we're going to take a moment and tap into what's meaningful, and then let this experience be shaped by that. All right. Okay. So, I see someone already jumping in. Okay. So let's take a couple breaths before we go back into the posture. And think about the context for this moment of transition for you. Some of us are in the process of retiring. Some of us are feeling more anxiety as the rules have changed. Some of us are feeling really excited. So the question is, what is the quality that will bring meaning to this moment, right? That we want to have shape this moment. Is this a moment where we want to really have strength and perseverance? In which case, maybe you want to stay in the posture longer. Is this a moment where you really want to have self-compassion and really be gentle? So you are going to maybe shift out of the posture sooner? Is this a moment where you're curious? And so maybe you shift halfway out of the posture and then you see. So we're going to let whatever the quality is that you would like to have shape your future in this moment. It's going to shape this posture. And actually, let's take a moment and each one of us kind of think of the quality that we want to have shape our experience. I've mentioned perseverance or self-compassion or curiosity. You might think of something else. And let's go ahead and put some of those in the chat as well, so I can know what they are. Ease and joy. Bravery. compassion, heart-centered strength, curiosity, staying with questions, fun and relaxation. Excellent. These are wonderful. Balanced space for reflection and creativity. All right. Thank you. Thank you for serenity. Oh, lovely. Great. So now we're going to do this posture again, and we're going to do it with this quality in mind. Each of us is going to do it in our own way, and we're going to come into it together, but we're going to come out of it or move in it completely on our own, in our own unique way. So let's get ready and take a nice big breath in. So that's embodying calm, and then bring your awareness into your body. You feel grounded and safe, cultivating clarity. And then let's find the posture again, whichever version you like. And we're going to breathe here. I'm going to time us for about 2 minutes. And you can stay with it just like this, or you can adapt however will bring your quality to life. Maybe it's brave to stay with the sensation. Maybe it's curious to stay with the sensation. Maybe there's self-compassion to ease and bend the arms a little. Maybe fun and playful is to make like funny hand gestures, right? So be in this, in exactly the quality that is what you want to be cultivating. You have complete permission. And so we have 1 more minute. You can either keep in the same posture, really gathering your strength and bravery, or you can play even more fully or cultivate even more ease. And about 20 more seconds, find your edge. How can you even more fully express your quality in this moment? All right, and then releasing the posture. Okay. Let's shake it out. Let's just shake the arms and shake the, whew. Okay. So now we're going to take some time to talk about that. And I want to ask the group, do we want to talk about it all together here in the main space, or do we want to go into breakout? And Caroline, I'd love your input on this as well. We could take, 6 minutes or so to go into breakouts, or we could just stay here and talk all together. What's going to feel best for the group?
Main space, says Rachel. Lisa, of course, said breakouts. Of course, we've got both. Main space.
Okay, so we have a vote. I think our vote, main space. Stay together. Okay, up. 1 more breakout, but that's the same person. Okay.
Yeah,
so I think we're gonna stay in the main space. And what I'd like to do is invite someone who feels brave to share their experience so that we can move beyond the quick posts in the chat and get a little bit richer, fuller experience into the space. So is someone willing to share what their experience of these 3 steps was and how you're feeling now and just what you came to know through this process?
I feel more relaxed. I actually feel more positive. It's Lois.
Hi, Lois. I'm going to pin you so I can see you.
Oh, don't.
Oh, so can you to say a little bit more about how you feel relaxed? Like, why do you think you feel relaxed? What was it about the experience that?
Well, I think it was number one, the sound of your voice, the content and what we were asked to do, and the group, certainly the group, because you always feel better when you're in a group.
Hi, I'm Laura. Can you guys hear me or am I frozen?
We're talking to Lois for a moment.
And I think, just seeing your smiling faces.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm curious, particularly about this last piece where we held the posture with our quality in mind. Lisa, would you like to share your experience?
You mean based on what I just put in the chat?
Yeah.
Well, every time I come into a space like this, I think, I'm able to go into another zone, so to speak, because I feel like the space is held. I've committed to the time. It's a space for doing this kind of work. And so, sitting in the pose, I just tried to imagine those things that I wanted the space and the balance to come into my pose somehow, I loosened up my pose because I just wanted more space and more, I don't know, not so much tightness and conformity and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you offered yourself some looseness in the posture. You actually changed the way your body, your stance, so that you could have more spaciousness.
My hands mostly, just from here to kind of, just kind of this kind of thing.
Wonderful. And I'm curious. Can you imagine moments in life where you might remember this and say, "Oh, like we could bring more spaciousness here"? What would that look like?
That would be the goal. That would be the goal. I might need some kind of new. I don't know. Maybe invent some kind of new bracelet. I don't know. Let me get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Ellen, you put something nice in the chat. Do you want to talk a little bit? And I just see that Nora
also, yeah.
Nora has actually raised her hand. So Nora.
You ready for me?
Yes, please, Nora.
So I was standing and I was kind of holding my hands together upright. That's how I started. That was the previous piece. And for the third part, I just found that, and my focus was self-compassion. I found that I was able to stay present by moving very slowly, just continuously moving, and it felt so good, and it kind of turned into self-compassion by moving. And it was, I don't do Tai Chi, but I know what it's like. It was that kind of slow movement, and it was almost like starting to dance a little bit, but it was a lovely feeling in my body that was very calming.
Thank you for sharing that. Laura, would you like to add? Laura, are you?
She might be frozen.
So actually, I want to comment on what Nora said. So thank you, Nora, for sharing. When you there's sometimes I find that I think, oh, there's no room to move. I'm afraid there's no room to move, or I'm in a situation where I have to be like there's only one way. And something about what you said about really very gentle, tiny, small, slow movements reminds me that sometimes we can just lean in a little bit or lean back a little bit in life and find some space and slowly begin to make our way rather than being fixed to that spot. So thank you for bringing that wisdom to us, Nora.
Thank you for helping me find that. It was a discovery that I didn't know that that moving slowly was going to do that.
Thank you. All right. So anybody else want to offer your reflections on this experience into the group? It would help us have more wisdom in the group.
Ellen, did you want to share? You're unmuted.
Oh, I thought Laura was next.
She had to.
Thank you.
Laura's just back. So yay, Laura.
Yeah, my internet is just torturing me here. I'm so sorry. I seem to raise my hand and then it kicks me off. Thank you for acknowledging me, noting that. Yeah, especially in regards to that last exercise, it was so fascinating because I was so focused on the simple movement we were doing. And it was a very physical experience to me. You know, I was really thinking about like the heat in my shoulders, the heat in my chest, my breathing. But then with that last exercise of thinking about my intentions of ease and joy, that sort of like transformation of the physical sensations into making that experience into ease and joy was like really, I've never had that. I've never watched that transition before. So that was really a learning for me that I'm excited to see that, where you can really focus on being very mindful on something that's tangible with you, but then turn that into an emotional sensation that is maybe the greater goal of what you're wanting in your life in that moment. So that was a big takeaway for me. Thank you.
Thank you. So Laura, how did you, can you describe maybe the outer form of the experience as well? Like so you were holding in a posture, and the first time you had all that, the heat building. The second time, did you change how the body, like how you were holding the body, or what did it look like?
I didn't change. It was similar. I was holding my hands up similar to yours. And so in the first time we did that, I was just watching where I was having the sensations, the physical sensations. And then when you were guiding us to think about what our intended sort of more like emotional, I could just, a better way of, I don't know, there's a better way, but for me, I'm categorizing that as an emotional kind of experience of ease and joy. That was my goal. I watched that I was having like the place where the physical sensations were shifted, and it actually moved closer where I was having it more in my hands and my shoulders. It moved down to more of like my upper gut and my chest. And I thought, oh, that's interesting that when I start thinking about ease and joy, the physical sensation moved in my body. And then it just sort of blossomed or something. I don't even know the right word. It just sort of opened in a way that I started experiencing this ease in that area where I had first had more of a warm or tight physical feeling. So that's how I experienced it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying. I want to just also to highlight that your body was in the same, like your body stayed in the same position, but the inner experience was so different. And that's one of the lessons or the pieces of wisdom we can have from this, is that the outer form, even if our life looks exactly the same, the inner experience can be different. We can have more ease and more self-compassion, even in the outer form. So, Ellen, we have one more, and you've been on the list. So, you want to share your experience?
Mine was a combination, I think, of physical and an intention. At first, I wanted to be strong and grounded, and that's how I made my pose. And then I felt like I wanted to portray self-compassion, and that's how I made my pose. So it was intentional, but yet my body also wanted to do that. So, and I think that's who I am. I have that strong sense. And then I do have, I need a little bit more self-compassion, but I'm glad I did that.
Yeah. So you chose right from the beginning, the second time, to do a slightly different pose. A more self-compassionate
I
pose.
think my body and my mind were doing that. I think I wanted to not just portray and feel strong all the time, which I do. I did want that self-compassion. So I think my body and my mind took me there.
Yeah. So sometimes we can we can have the qualities that we want to have come to life in mind as we approach a situation, so we can embody them. We can do, whether it's just a posture, or whether it's cooking dinner, or whether it's, going for the first time out to a restaurant, or whatever it is. We can have that be a part of and shape our experience from the inside.
Thank
So
you.
I'm very aware that we have just a few moments here, and to close, I'd love for us to be able to have a little moment all together. But before that, Caroline, is there anything that you would like to normally offer kind of at the end of a session, or?
Sure. I just wanted to let everybody know that, of course, on Thursday, we're going to be Phoebe and I will be doing part 2 of an inspired summer, right? And I'll put that in the chat, and hope you'll join us for that. And we'll continue on with this embodied practices. And Edie, what was, again, I've heard almost every person that shared, and even in the chat, wow, this was so simple. And I think that simple things, simple is profound, right? It's not always easy.
Thank you.
But it's profound. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'd like to offer us a summary, kind of a quick experiential and verbal summary as we move from our time together. And I want to underline that what I want to offer is that this work is from the RISE program that we built at Kripalu. Specifically, I chose to offer this tool today, given the introductions that we had. So I just want to do a shout out to Kripalu and RISE. And so we're going to do the 3 C's: the first, embody calm; the second, cultivate clarity; and the third, deepen connection as we prepare to leave. So coming back into a really comfortable position, sitting or standing, whatever your body likes, and taking a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll do that one more time. Really embodying calm in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then grabbing your attention, bringing it into the body, feeling the flow of breath in the body. And then connecting to the quality that you want to have shape what comes next in your day. So maybe that's self-compassion again, or maybe it's a different one. But connecting inside and naming for yourself the quality that you would like to have shape what comes next in your day. And then feeling again the circle of us sitting here, all breathing together, all preparing to transition from this moment and also in this grander COVID moment. Feeling the support we offer each other, the friendliness. Let's take one more big breath in and release. And then we can unmute and wave at each other or say goodbye, or however you all like to offer your adieus.
Yes,
Thank you so much for this time.
Unmute everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Lovely
you.
to be together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you, Susan. Nice to see everybody. Take care. Be well. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.